Ladies and gents, hello and welcome to ROG Pulse, the show where we dive into all things related to tech and gaming. And today we have a very special show where we're diving into the brand new RTX 40 series. We've got the 4090 TUF and Strix editions to show off live on stream. But before we jump straight into that, let's get some introductions. We've got Whitson Gordon here joining me as usual on the show, but we've also got a special guest, Romeo, joining. Romeo, tell us a little bit about what you do here at ROG.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jake and Whitson. So basically, I'm the product manager for the high-end graphics card in ASUS. So I design these cards.
So you're the guy. You're the man that really is sitting here behind the scenes, has all the secrets about the 40 series as it's being concocted, and now is finally the time to unveil them to the world. These beasts of devices.
I see a peek of it behind him.
Oh. Is that right?
Oh, is that the box?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that is the box.
Who left those there?
Oh my.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So should we break them out? So let's talk about what we're unveiling today. So NVIDIA just unveiled 3 new GPUs. We've got a RTX 4090, an RTX 4080 16 gigabyte, and an RTX 4080 12 gigabyte. We are releasing Strix and TUF variants of each of those 3 cards. So we are announcing 6 cards in total today. Is that correct?
That's correct.
My counting is not wrong. Okay, cool. Should we start with the 4090?
Yeah. So, okay, so this is it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is the ROG Strix 4090 cards.
Beautiful.
So as you can see, this time the design, we decide to use the red and blue theme with the ROG lighting on the side and on the edge and at the side. And one biggest difference, well, besides its massive size, is that we just
massive, you say?
Yeah, huge. This card is actually over 36 centimeters, so 360 millimeters long, and over 3.5 slot wide.
Yeah. So this is a big deal because NVIDIA announced that the
big is the right word. Sorry, no, big is the right word. I mean, there's no getting around that.
Well, NVIDIA announced that the 3090 or the 4090, I'm sorry, this is going to take some getting used to now. The 4090 has a base TGP of 450 watts. So this is an absolute beast of a card in terms of horsepower. And so you guys basically had to redesign the card from the ground up in order to accommodate that sheer amount of power, right? So it's not only bigger, but what did we do to accommodate the thermals and the power for this just absolute unit?
Well, first of all, I like to show you guys the PCB, but unfortunately I can't. But what I will say is that it will provide enough horsepower for you to do whatever you want to it. So that's a good thing. And then it comes to the thermal. So obviously the card is bigger, the thermal is much larger. And we decide to use the vapor chamber this time to cool our GPU. So I think this is one of the beefiest cooler that ASUS ever made. The fans are larger, and we have more dissipation area with the vapor chamber. So this GPU, I think it can handle pretty much everything you throw at it.
Well, and with that new cooling solution, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we've been able to basically keep temperatures similar to the previous generation with all of that extra power. So it's not a 200-degree card. Like it's going to be similar. You're going to see similar temperatures that you did with the 3090 Strix or 3090 Ti Strix, whatever it was that we were comparing it to. And but it's able to accommodate that much more power without a huge jump in temperature. Jake, do you have the animation of the vapor chamber? I want to show this off in particular because this is so cool what we did, particularly on the Strix card here. This is just a really cool graphic. This is not what I was talking about. I was talking about the vapor chamber.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologies. Yeah,
this is a very cool graphic. I love the way that back looks. So if you look at this animation of the vapor chamber, we actually have some milled channels inside that vapor chamber for the heat pipes to kind of sink into, which increases the surface area of contact between the heat pipes and the vapor chamber itself, allowing even better heat dissipation than a traditional vapor chamber design where the heat pipes kind of have a flat bottom against the vapor chamber. Right, Romeo?
Right. So we actually have a pattern for this new architecture, and we found that on average with this tunneled design that we're able to get 3 to 5 degree out
Yeah.
of the, compared with the traditional vapor chamber plus the heatsink design.
That's
So
pretty
traditionally,
crazy.
how they do it, it's they have a flat vapor chamber, and then they put the heatsink, they put the heat pipes directly on top of it,
Okay.
and then they make it flat. Okay? But when you make the heat pipes flat, you actually the heat pipe actually lose some of the efficiency. So that's why we came up with this tunnel design. So you don't have to alter the heat pipes, and you get the maximum efficiency out of the heat pipes and the vapor chamber.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You
So
said 3 to 5 degrees in total. That's significant.
yeah, that's not
Yep.
nothing. So the other thing that is kind of jumps out at me just looking at this card, right, is that huge vent on the back.
I mean, it is.
That's crazy. First of all, it looks amazing. I love the way that you guys integrated the ROG logo into the vent there. But I imagine that's also providing a lot of that extra cooling potential too.
Right. So actually, taken from the experience from last generation, we actually had a smaller we call it wind pipe here, wind tunnel actually. Okay, so we found that if we are able to make the PCB shorter and then make the wind tunnel larger, so the front fan can blow the air directly out of the back, we get much more heat, better temperature, GPU temperature out of the card.
Awesome.
So this is what we did.
I mean, we can
in
look
order
at
to
this.
make a PCB
Yeah,
small,
there you go.
It's not easy.
Now is
Yeah.
the time for that animation, Jake.
Well, yeah, we've got this
Right.
new vent on the side, and yeah, you can just see how the airflow works, pulling in from the bottom and just kind of pulling out from all angles, really.
Yep. And so you
Right.
can also see the RGB here. So this is a Strix card. It's going to have all the features that you've come to expect from a Strix card. You've got Aura Sync, ARGB on the card. You've got the P and Q switch, the dual BIOS switch that lets you switch between the performance and the slightly more quiet mode. You can also see from this that we've got 16-pin power connectors on these latest GPUs. So they will come with an adapter if you have an older power supply.
Right.
But
Right.
if you need a new power supply, or you want a power supply that's, kind of designed to provide those quicker spikes in power to modern graphics cards, our ROG Thor and Loki units are going to be absolute perfect matches for these new cards. And the newest variants of those, I believe, come with native 16-pin cables, correct?
Right, that's correct. So even if you have an old power supply, you don't have to worry that you won't be able to use the old power supply with the new graphics card, because we will provide an adapter cable.
And we're also
Yeah.
also providing a GPU bracket, right? With these?
We are. We are. But it okay. Yeah. Because the size of this card, it's
beefy.
It's beefy.
It's not
huge.
small.
The heatsink is
It
huge,
is not the
so-
word you use to describe this.
So like people often ask me like will my graphic card sag if I put this horizontally into my PC, then over time it will sag, unfortunately. So this time we actually do have an accessory.
That said,
graphics card holder.
Built
you guys
in.
also
graphic
put
card.
these cards through a battery of tests, right? You were telling us yesterday how you shake the PC
Right.
to make sure that it doesn't fall out or
Right.
break.
Right.
So
Right.
the card will work, but yeah, we do have a GPU bracket in the box to help provide some extra stability, which is cool. I like that we're including that.
Oh, another thing is that you didn't mention is that we still have the fan connect right here.
Oh yes,
So-
the
so,
Fan
yeah.
Connect 2 headers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
That is another one of those like classic Strix features that's really, really cool. Guys, if you don't use these, you really should. That allows you to plug in some of your case fans into the GPU itself. And then through our GPU Tweak 3 software, you can have those case fans adjust their speed based on the GPU's temperature rather than your CPU or motherboard temperature, which is really useful because depending on where those fans are in your case, they're going to affect the GPU temperature more than those others. So that's a really, really useful feature that I have come to love myself. So
yeah, allows the card to exist more harmoniously with the whole machine. But
absolutely.
Yeah, you can see all the different angles here of the machine. I mean, obviously it is a big card. We've got that whole side vent, which I think is a cool look. This is definitely different than past generations of Strix.
I really like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's functional. I think that's the most important thing, is this is giving you a lot of additional airflow on the side where, previously we had a whole strip of RGB on the 30 series that kind of ran along the side horizontally. But now you're really seeing into the card, but allowing for better airflow.
The 30 series had a vent. It just wasn't maybe quite as big
not like
because
that,
it wasn't
yeah.
as thick of a card, right?
Right.
But yeah, I really like how much airflow there is in this, and the way that you kind of included the ROG styling into the thermal design without, hampering the thermals was just chef's kiss. I love it.
Right.
I love the look of that backplate.
Well, another thing is that we originally from our last generation Strix we used some plastic for the cover, and people were giving me suggestions that for ROG card is a premium that we should use more metal. So this generation, this Strix card, is beside the PCB, it's 95% metal.
That's awesome.
Right. So this card is as sturdy, as rigid as it can get. So you don't have to worry about it breaking or anything.
Wow. So it really feels beefy, but like quality. That's the whole objective here, is to really just make it feel as premium as possible.
Yep.
I mean, it should. It's a Strix, right?
It is.
That's the whole thing. Should we talk about the TUF 4090?
Before talking about the TUF, I have a 3090 card right next to me, and I like.
Let's
the side by side, the live demo.
Side by side, yeah.
Oh, I know chat's immediately going to be like, are we going to get 4090s
There
in
you
white?
go.
He's straining himself to lift it up.
Yeah, it's so heavy.
That's
so
actually not as much. It's not as longer as I expected it to be. Like that'll still fit in your case without a problem.
Most cases. Some cases.
Most cases. If you have some of those really, really short cases, maybe not. But
you have to get a mid-tower cases.
Yeah. It's not going to fit in like an ITX.
Yeah, no, the ITX or the M-ATX, it probably won't fit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I imagine people theory crafting their home theater PCs right now for trying how to fit a 4090 in them. Good luck, guys.
Just mount the PC to the back of the TV. Problem solved.
Yeah.
There you go.
Definitely. And regarding the white edition, well, if people want one,
I guarantee you, chat is asking about white editions already. Like, in fact, I saw it before we started. People were already asking for it.
No.
Our product designer's here. Let him know.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. All right.
Ready to jump into TUF?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look at the TUF 4090. And just a reminder, guys, this is the RTX 4090. NVIDIA touted this as 2 to 4 times faster than the 3090 Ti, available October 12th. I don't know. I actually don't know if we can't give out pricing information yet. So stop asking. I see a lot of people asking. You can't give out pricing information yet. Just wait.
Soon.
You'll get it.
Less than a month till these hit the shelves. That's really exciting. October 12th is going to be here before you know it.
Yep.
All right, let's see the TUF.
So this is the TUF card. Well, it's also gigantic. It's roughly the same size as the Strix. So it's also 36 centimeters long and 3.6 slot wide. Again,
so it's a little bit thicker.
It's a little bit thicker due to aesthetics, the design. So you can see some, how do you say it? These edges right here to make the card look a little, wider per se.
So the thermals on this are similar to the Strix card, but they're slightly different. Can you talk a little bit about what you did with the heatsink and vapor chamber on this?
So remember we talked about the tunnel vapor chamber. That's actually an exclusive feature for Strix because it needs to handle higher TGP. So there you go. So with TUF, we're actually setting this at default TGP. So in theory, that you might not need that much thermal solution. So we're using the traditional vapor chamber plus the heat pipe solution for the TUF.
But it's still a vapor chamber, so it's still a big step up from what we saw with last generation. You're still
didn't use any vapor chamber last generation, and we're using vapor chamber for both of our Strix and TUF cards this time.
And we also have the big vented backplate on that too. Can you show us? I love the backplate on this.
Right. So this is the similar design as the Strix.
Ooh.
The TUF logo is spanning half the vent and the other side is so.
Actually should be like this.
I was gonna say that's right.
You guys see? Actually, this is actually a shield, a TUF logo shield.
Yeah.
Right. Extended to the side.
Super cool.
That is cool.
So tell me a little bit about the die cast frame on this, because this is pretty unique, right?
Yeah. So the die we use the die cast frame for both of our Strix and TUF series to get that premium feel. Last generation our TUF was well received because we used a lot of metal parts. So this generation we continue that tradition. So for TUF, we still use we use the aluminum alloy to make a cover to make it look very sturdy, very tough, right?
Not only looks sturdy,
So
it is sturdy.
It is
yeah,
sturdy.
it's actually like a weapon. You can kill somebody with this. So
But
The
Asus and
ROG
ROG
brand.
do not endorse killing people with our
yeah.
graphics cards.
I'm so sorry.
The,
This is right. Okay.
we also
No,
have,
what I'm trying to say it's the card. It's tough. It's tough. Like it's the definition of tough. Like once you
Yep.
feel it and you have it in your hand.
so I really like the
Right.
profile of this one as well. When you show the side, no, turn it over like this, the thin side.
Like that?
Well, that side and the long side.
The long side.
Where the,
you mean
yeah,
this
so we've got
side,
like a
right.
we've upgraded the TUF logo on the side too. This is also ARGB, but it's kind of like 3D. It's not just like this. It's not just a little plastic light. So yeah, I really like the way that this looks when it's actually plugged into the machine. You'll get a little bit of that ARGB lighting.
Yeah.
You've got the BIOS switch on this as well, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
And just a reminder, with all the RGB, that's something that you can turn on, you can customize an Armory Crate, you can do whatever you want with it, make it sync up with your PC, or just have it off, you know?
Yep. And finally, this also uses the native 16-pin power connector.
Right, that's correct.
Yep.
And this card
Which
will also
comes in the
come with the
box.
graphics card holder, so you don't have to worry about the card being sag at all.
So are we going to have GPU holders in all of the boxes? Do you know?
All of them, yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna
okay.
have it in all of the boxes.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a new thing to this generation, because previously that wasn't necessarily a standard. So having that be,
Right.
something that's built in the boxes, it's one less thing you have to worry about when upgrading to this card, because they are so much larger than previous generations that GPU sag with a 30 series is a real thing. Now I use the 3080 Ti LC. I don't have to worry about
my
it.
card
It's
doesn't
smaller.
sag at all.
But my wife's does in her PC. She has a 30.
My card is perfect. My Strix 3070. It is like, maybe it's just because I have my motherboard has like the reinforced PCI slots and all that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful. I remember like the old days of GPU sag when like before backplates when you would actually see it curve. remember way back in the day.
Right.
We've come a long way since then.
No, that's actually
true.
bad for your PCB when you actually bend the PCB like that, like the materials
sure.
and parts, on it breaks. So
the other cool thing
that's why we make the card so sturdy, because we don't want any PCB bent in.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
We don't want material on it to crack.
And not to mention the GPU holders just look cool.
Right.
Like it's cool to have one just because it adds like that extra. Oh, jeez, dropped my water bottle. It adds that extra bit of flair to your PC.
As long as Romeo doesn't drop a 4090, that's fine.
My PC is on this side. We're okay.
Okay.
All right. Should we talk about the 4080s?
Sure.
We don't have the 4080s.
We don't have any 4080s to release, and we know, or to show off in hand today, and we know that those are going to be coming out at a later date. So October 12th is only for the Strix and TUF 4090. That's when those are hitting the shelves. But the 4080s, we have two versions, a 16 and a 12 gigabyte coming out. What else can we say about them beyond
They
that?
look, well, the design is the same as these, correct? The 4080 12 gigabyte is a slightly different size, but the shroud design, the backplate design, they're all the same.
So it's a little bit smaller.
Right. In terms of aesthetics, all three GPU chipset, or both Strix and TUF, will look very similar.
Okay.
Right.
With the 4090 and 4080 16 gigabyte being the same size, like identical in size and width. But with
so Romeo, hold up that Strix, and everyone can just pretend you're showing them the 4080. Just pretend this is a 4080, and you got it.
But visually, it's almost identical, right? With
Yeah.
the 4080 is like
same exact
spot on,
size.
Yeah. Okay.
Same exact size.
The 4080 12 gigabyte is a little bit smaller.
Right.
So you'll have a little bit wider case compatibility there and things like that. The main difference, besides obviously, the 4080 is a 4080 and not a 4090, is the thermal design. So how does the thermal design differ for the 4080 16 gigabyte models?
So for the 4080 16 gigabyte model, for the Strix, because it's a Strix model, so we will be using the same thermal design as the
exact
4090.
same. So the
same vapor chamber with the milled channels.
Because we want to give user as much.
Oh, that's awesome.
As much Strix features as we could. So
4080 is still like the 16 gig is top of the
4080
line.
is a great card.
It's pretty much like a more affordable version of the 4090. in a lot of ways.
Right. And then for the 4080 16GB TUF, the only difference with the in terms of thermal solution that it does not have a vapor chamber. So the 4090 has a vapor chamber, 4080 does not. 4080 just used the heat pipe, I think 8 heat pipes, 7 or 8 heat pipes thermal solution.
I believe it's 8 heat pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no vapor chamber on the 4080 TUF model, but it's still going to have great cooling. It's still a thick boy card.
Yep.
You're not going to have, you're not going to have trouble cooling it.
Yep.
And then on the 4080 12GB cards, those both use traditional heatsink designs as well, correct?
Right. That's correct.
Cool. So yeah, there you go. 6 cards, a full lineup of high-end, sweet Strix and TUF cards. Which one are you guys like eyeballing?
Dude, 4080 for life. That's just like
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
For me, if I have to
Strix.
buy a card, if I'm already spending this chunk of money, I'd probably go for the top.
You're going all the way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you want the 4090? I've
Yeah,
never owned a 90
want the 4K
in any generation. It's
Yeah,
just-
me either.
It's I've always like right
Well-
now I have a 3080 Ti and it serves me perfectly for everything I want to do, right? Except for like 4K high refresh rate. That's the one thing that I'm kind of held back on, and that's what I'm hoping this new generation, the 40 series, will be able to unlock, because the old 4K 144 hertz display, very few games could achieve that, right? Very few games.
But this is the generation of 4K, right?
I hope
Don't
so.
wanna push.
This is
Don't wanna-
This
yeah.
is a good plug. So we can't reveal a ton of performance information today yet. We're just revealing these cards and kind of giving you some of the design details. But if you guys give us a follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube, we're going to be diving even deeper when these cards come out, when we can release performance information. This is just the beginning of the 40 series launch. So give us a follow. We have many more details for you coming up real soon. Join our Discord. We'll be talking about these cards in there, I'm sure, nonstop for the next few weeks. A lot of exciting stuff coming up real soon. Not to mention other things happening on this channel as well. Jake plays games. We talk about other hardware. It's a cool place to hang out. All the cool kids are doing it.
In fact, yeah, we've got some new motherboards we're showing off just next week, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, looking forward, I mean, you're going to see everything from, guides to overclocking these GPUs, guides to how to undervolt your GPU for the use case that you want to use, showing off performance of, just pretty much every situation you can imagine. Obviously, Cyberpunk is a great game to try to push your PC to the limits, and I think they have DLC coming out soon, so that could be fun.
We'll be testing out DLSS 3.0. We'll be talking about DLSS 3.0 on Thursday of this week. Come back for another episode of Pulse on Thursday. We'll be talking about some of the other stuff NVIDIA announced.
Yeah. But deep dive will be, around the time of the actual launch of the 4090s, when we do our actual proper deep dive, where we're showing a little bit more inside the making of these GPUs.
And we'll have a bit more leeway for Q&A and stuff like at that time as well. So
yes,
I'm sure you guys are burning with questions about these GPUs, already lining up to get them. Get excited.
Very soon, October 12th, these 4090s will be available. But Romeo, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's like 1 a.m. for you, so you're a trooper.
It's fine. I'm
look very
just
awake.
Excited. I'm just as excited as you guys are, so it's fine. It's fine. I can stay up one night, no problem.
Love to hear it. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to our live stream, just debuting the TUF and Strix 4090 series. We'll have very more for you here for the next generation of NVIDIA.
And if you want to read more, you can also go to our site. We have an article detailing all 6 of these cards as well. We'll put that link in the description as well for you guys.
All righty. Well, till next time, everyone. GG's and take care.
GG's.
Thank you.